Well, hello. We are back again on Wednesday night. Myself and Lee Hammock, Mental Illness. He'll be on here in just a couple minutes. He was running a little bit late, so we'll kind of get the party started and go ahead and get rolling. So super glad to be able to be here. Lee and I have been talking a bunch over the past week because we actually have our live in-person workshop that's actually coming up this Saturday. We're super excited. There's people that are driving from Virginia, obviously, because that's where we're doing it, but also from other places. So I got someone coming all the way from Chicago just to be able to participate in that. We're super excited about that. We'll probably give a little bit more about that. Coming up, we have October 15th. Texas is going to be a meet and greet, but also exclusive time when you can do one-on-ones with us and other people that are going to be there. And you can read all about it at narcavengers.com. And so feel free to be able to check that out. That's also going to be where we're going to house some of the information coming up about the event in Canada. And that's going to be November 19th in Toronto, Canada. So stay tuned for all that. So yeah, hello, good to see you. So Lee's right here. Can't you see him? No, I'm just teasing. He's coming. Lee's on his way, but he ran into a couple snags, so he'll be a couple minutes late. But we wanted to go ahead and get the party started at regular time, so you guys knew at least that we were still going to be around. So feel free to drop any questions in the chat, and we'll go ahead and get to those here as soon as we can. So super excited to answer anything that you guys have. There we go. And speaking of which,
I'm here.
Well, hello. Just made it.
What is going on? Let me go and hop on here and start sharing.
It's all good. How are you doing?
I'm blessed. How you feeling?
Doing well.
Where we at? I'm doing.
He's right here. I don't know what you're talking about. He's been here the whole time. Like, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we started the video and Lee was here the whole time. So I don't know why you're thinking I'm gaslighting. He's been here. Yeah, just kidding.
All right.
But anyway, y'all feel free to leave questions, comments in the chat. We'll kind of ping some stuff back and forth here. And
Brittany, what's going on? My wife actually said she was excited. She's like, I'm so excited to see Brittany. She's one of the favorite people I'm going to see. I'm like, cool. Yeah.
In Texas, whenever she comes to Texas.
Yeah, she was excited to see Brittany in Texas.
That's awesome.
I was like, cool.
That's awesome.
Like the hell with Ben and everybody else, right?
Right. That'd be pretty cool. We're excited about it. So it's gonna be.
Is Kayla coming? Is Kayla coming yet or no?
Who?
Kayla. She's not coming. Okay.
No. Yeah, she's not coming. It just didn't work out with childcare and all that fun stuff. So my parents have like stuff like going on at the same time, so it's not gonna work out for them to be able to help out.
Okay.
But yeah. So yeah, anyways, little slow on my side starting off. I got like 14 people on.
I'm trying it right now. My motivation.
I posted on, or my VA posted on Instagram, but.
Come say, hey. I'm trying it right now. Do generation stuff right now because I'm down.
What's that?
I'm just tired, man. We're running around today. One of them days, I had the power of one more myself today, man.
Right?
I tell you, like one more.
Did you finish that book?
No, yeah, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it pretty quick.
It's really good, isn't it?
I was listening to it in the gym today, and I was just like, I ain't even need music or nothing. He was just like one more rep. Boy, he was talking about the gym. I was like, okay. I was like, okay, Ed.
Yeah. No, it's really good. The Power of One More by Ed Milet. It's a fantastic book.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is a fantastic book. Since this is going to get reposted, y'all check this out right here on Amazon, right here. From
I left mine downstairs actually.
Oh, did you? So,
yeah, I was running behind trying to get here.
From fantasy to reality. Check this out on Amazon right here, y'all. Guess who it's by? Mr. Ben Taylor himself. All motivation. Look, awareness, growth, healing, and change. If y'all ever forget his slogan, it's right here on the back of the book.
Right there.
Just buy the journal for the slogan. It's on the back. This is a journal to help you heal after a toxic relationship, y'all. Narcissists, toxic people, whoever. It's to help do all of that stuff right there. So you mean,
yeah, absolutely.
And things like that. Greetings to you both. Oh, so my light is on and stuff like that. More People texting me, y'all. Sorry.
You're fine. What type of person stays with a covert narcissist? She caught him cheating and stayed. What does the narcissist do with her forgiveness?
What type of person stays with a covert narcissist? A codependent person, possibly. Vicky, what's up? Yeah, codependent,
Right.
empath, borderline, another narcissist. Yeah, people stay with narcissists all the time. Like people can hear all the stuff that me and Ben say, all the stuff that anybody else says. You can hear it from a narcissist themselves. Cluster B milkshake. What's it? The new dude, the nameless narcissist. Y'all can hear it from everybody, and they will still. They'll still stay. They'll find ways to stay because you'll look past the work. People look past the work that we put in, all the therapy, all the work that we put in on ourselves, and look towards and do stuff like that. You'll look past the work that we put in on ourselves and just do more stuff for you and things like that. So it can get choppy.
Right.
A lot of
Yeah,
times.
absolutely. A lot of times it doesn't matter. They'll still find a way to go back. They'll still have something. One of the videos that came out today was how to stop going back to a narcissist on my YouTube. Trying to help people understand, like, hey, like there's a way, but you have to understand. You have to actually be able to dive in and see what's actually going on to avoid it. Because a lot of times they'll suck you back in.
People get sucked in all the time, y'all.
How's that person? 3 months, no contact. Tried to get a protective order on him and his new supply.
Oh my goodness.
New supplies can be like vicious whenever they get turned back on you.
Yeah.
So we know like several people, creators and people that we work with, that the new supply is coming out of the woodwork, attacking on all fronts, and the narcissist kind of sitting back and like just letting it happen.
The new supply can be worse than the actual narcissist sometimes. The narcissist can rile up the new supply, and it's kind of like they train the new supply to be their proxy, to be their stand-in. Like, hey, stand in for me and abuse my ex. Thanks. And some of them, they'll go crazy because it's just because they want to please the narcissistic person, y'all, which is kind of that type of stuff blows my damn mind. You know what I mean? It really does blow my mind sometimes.
Yeah.
But everybody's mind is a long way. It's about using mind over emotion. Mind over emotion. Yeah. 2 years of your life wasted. How does it make? So when you say stuff like that, how does it make you feel? I want people to think about that. When you say that out loud to yourself, you write it down. 2 years of my life wasted. How does it feel? I feel like that can be debilitating. I feel like saying stuff like that can automatically switch your emotional state from having a good day to automatically having a bad day because you feel like you wasted 2 years of your life. One thing that I've done a lot, one thing I've gotten kind of really good at in my own personal life is reframing my experiences. I don't say like, could you feel like you wasted your life? Yeah, you definitely could feel that way. But if you reframe it, it's like, I didn't waste 2 years of my life. I spent 2 years of my life learning how not to be treated. Is that true? You have to convince yourself that, repeat it to yourself.
Right.
Now you know what to allow and what to not allow into your own life now. So you feel like you wasted 2 years of your life. Some people will say, I wasted 2 years. I wasted 7 years. I might as well stay. I've already given you X amount of years. I might as well stay with you now. So I just feel like the words you use have a dramatic effect on your actions and how you actually feel about stuff like that. Yeah. So just, I'm all about reframing your mindset because it can help you transition your life into something different, into a more powerful existence and things like that. So
because a lot of times, like when people look back on the relationship, whether it's like, hey, I wasted that much time, or like a popular one is like, wow, I was so stupid not to see, I was so dumb that I like stayed that long. And trying to understand like, hey, that reframe is like huge of like how you're viewing it. If you take off like, hey, I was so dumb that I stayed that long, and you take off the action, then all you hear is like, hey, I'm so dumb. And that's that negative self-talk that slowly beats you down over time. But being able to change that to actually be in the positive light of being like, hey, I didn't know, I didn't understand, but now I do, so I can make different choices.
Yep. So there you go. This perfect right there. That's what I tell people. Just like, it's just good. Yeah. It's easier said than done. We can tell you to do this, we can say, hey, this is how you do it right here. Do this, say this, but you have to apply it. Application. Who say? I was listening to some. I'm always listening to Tony Robbins. He said knowledge is not power. He said knowledge is potential power. You can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not applying it, then it's just potential. It's just sitting there. Is knowledge on knowledge on ice is ignorance on, they say ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice, because at least the ignorance is getting used. It's kind of crazy when you put it in that terms. But I understand it. Tony Robbins be spitting, y'all. I tell y'all, people like, well, how you get to this point? Tony Robbins doesn't help me out a lot, y'all. Tony Robbins, Ed Milet, man, a lot of people influence me now. Like Ben influenced me a lot now, y'all. So even Ben influences me. So I just feel like y'all have to get to the point where like your influences, can actually alter your perception on life and actually help you become better and just move forward and stuff like that.
Right.
Read, write stuff down. You know what I mean? Whatever it takes.
People you bring into your life, like the close people, that's huge as far as like your growth potential based on like the close core people you have in your life.
Yep. What Brittany said. Really appreciate the Narc parents episode today, Lee. Blame more effectively. Guess who said that? Tony Robbins. Again, blame more effectively. He said, "I'm not telling you to stop blaming." Like you seen it before, Ben?
I think I've seen that clip. Yeah.
I Am Not Your Guru on Netflix. Oh God, that's just so fire, y'all. We just watching it on TV. It was like, she's like, my dad's he's real bad addict, and I struggle to love him or whatever. And then he was just like, you blame him for a lot of stuff. You blame him for a lot of stuff in your life, don't you? She's like, yeah, I blame him. And Tony Robbins just went the hell out. He's like, I'm not telling you to stop blaming. He's like, I'm telling you to blame more effectively. Blame from the level of your soul, not from your mind. He's just like, he said, if he would have been the father you needed, you wouldn't be the person you are right now. He's like, if you're gonna blame me for all the shit, you gotta blame me for the good stuff. And I got children. I'm like, God damn, you know what I mean? Because like, if my father would have been the father that I needed, I might not be as ambitious as I am right now. I might not be where I am right now. Yeah, do I have some stuff going on? Yeah, absolutely some mental health stuff going on. But I wouldn't have been the person I am now. And I love the person I'm becoming. I love myself more, y'all. So Tony Robbins, he be spitting.
That's true. I didn't know he was emotionally cheating when I chose to stay. I still this day don't know if he was ever physically cheating, but I don't want to start over. I really kept telling myself he will change. Yeah, a lot of times people like hold on to that possibility, hold on to that maybe of like, maybe they're going to change, maybe they're going to get better. I was reading inside the book, the Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist. It actually talks about like studies that scientists did on monkeys, going through of like they turn a light on and the monkey would have to like hit a lever and they get a treat. And, they get used to that, kind of like Pavlov's theory in one sense. And they got to the place where they turn the light on and they pull a lever and they wouldn't get a treat, or it'd be like random when it actually happened. And what they noticed is what spiked inside them was the anticipation. And the chemicals and the drugs in one sense that kind of like spiked inside, waiting for the possibility of getting something, was way higher than when they actually got it. And what they found out is like the levels that were actually in the monkeys, like waiting for that thing to come, that thing to actually happen. What they realized is like that was the same level almost as what it is to have someone who's addicted to cocaine. And so like, it's so true. Like when we're talking about like trauma bond and feeling like addicted to another person, like you get to the place where you feel addicted because like, that's how it is, because you're holding out for the possibility of a maybe. That's why people, keep playing the lottery or keep gambling and stuff like that, because it's the possibility of when is it actually going to win? When am I actually going to hit the jackpot? That kind of thing. $5 years in engagement. Then he ended it after I said I couldn't do it anymore.
Then he ended it. I feel like you ended it. I can't do it anymore. He ended it. I feel like that's the type of stuff right there. You know how people, when you get fired from a job, when people get fired from a job in movies and they have their like their box of belongings. It's like, you fired him, right? He he got to the elevator, was halfway to his car, and turned around and looked at the office building and just like, you know what? I quit. You already fired him. So, I quit. You're like, sir, you've been terminated. So I feel like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. So yeah. So I tell people all the time too that when people say my current fiance, I'm like, that doesn't have to be a husband, right? That doesn't have to be a wife. I'll be telling you, you don't have taking more steps does not make the relationship better, y'all. I'll just be real with y'all.
Right. Narcissist survival party with everyone who went through this shit. Hey, a big aspect of our narcissist survival party that's actually coming up is actually going to be October 15th in Austin, Texas. We're actually super excited to be able to be there and to be able to have you have the opportunity to meet other Narc Avengers, but also other people that are there, in the process of their healing, growth, and change. And so a really cool thing about it is we've got 23 days left of it actually coming up. Texas. We actually have a link so you can see the stuff coming up with Toronto. That's actually 58 days out. Oh gosh, that's crazy. So 23 days away is going to be Austin, October 15th. We've got several things going on, a private Q&A, and that's kind of like a backstage pass to be able to sit down with 10 of the Narc Avengers to be able to talk to them, get ideas of thoughts of like what's actually going on, but hear from multiple of them because you're not going to be able to touch base with probably everybody inside the meet and greet because we're going to be right around like 200 people that are actually going to be there. So feel free to check that out. You can also interact with like Lee personally. There's Lee, there's Lisa, there's myself, there's Trey, there's Carrie, there's Catherine, and there's Lindsay, all that are going to be willing to do one-on-ones. And there's a whole bunch of different options there. You can do 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. But it's a great way for you to be able to interact with other survivors that'll be there and be able to see us, be able to interact, be able to have the Q&A and the private one-on-ones. We're super excited about that. But that's coming up in 23 days and 18 hours and 26 minutes and 19 seconds.
Wow. That's coming up quick. I remember it was like 60 days on there. That's coming up quick. Wow.
But yeah, so we're super excited about that. But that big aspect of community, work on building community there too. Avoiding the physical application is the reason I stayed stuck for so long. The knowledge helped me mentally, but not physically. Yeah, as far as like getting out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Applying that knowledge. Like I said, knowledge on ice. Yep. Let me handle this. I don't have him. He acts like nothing happened when confronted by a mutual friend that knew what happened. I mean, what did the mutual friend confront him about and things like that? Just on what his behavior or his actions. Are y'all still together? Because like if y'all are still together and the mutual friend confronted him, it's kind of defeats the purpose of the mutual friend confronting him because that'll just reflect badly upon you. So why are you telling our business? Like we need to keep everything private. But if y'all are broken up or whatever and the relationship dynamic is ended, yeah, I'm gonna deny. Why would I admit to treating you horribly? Yeah, I don't admit that. I'll take it to my grave, like a deep dark secret. Take it to my grave. How we do it?
Just coming to the Toronto one. Live in Ohio and it's closer. Awesome.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's cool.
Toronto. Yeah, Virginia Beach coming up. So there's we've got a workshop actually coming up here September 24th. So 3 days. Crazy. Talk about time flying. 3 days coming up. So we're pumped.
Oh, hey, Megan, get ready. Look, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. Bring a fan.
We're super pumped. We sat down and kind of just solidified some of the stuff that we're going to be talking through and kind of going over coming up on Saturday. And we're super excited. A 4-hour in-person event to help with your healing, growth, and change. So that's a huge part. So we're really, really excited about that.
Yes.
My estranged husband told me he got therapy finally. I don't know if I believe it and why he got it. For some reason, I've been crying in sadness about it all day.
My estranged husband told me he got therapy finally. I don't know. I believe it and why he got it. Why did he tell you that? I feel like there's like
a reason behind it of like, say this, maybe I can get back in her life or something.
Yeah. Get you feeling that way right there. Like he's finally making the changes that I wanted him to make, or he's saying all the things I want him to say. Does he want to come back home? Does he want you to invite him back home? You said estranged husband, so I feel like there's a motive there. Send me. You got to send me a receipt. Send me the invoice. Right. Send me the therapy invoice real quick.
And even then, you never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You never. Yeah. Exactly. You never even know. Then
it might be faking it too.
You can fake people fake somebody like that all the time. That's crazy.
I'm trapped in one. The money is mine, but pay for everything because he has excuses and reasons not to help, and mad because he doesn't have money. Yells and blames me.
Yeah, girl. Every time I'm going to kick that man out, it sounds like you got a park bench bum right here, just yelling at you about your money. It sounds super stereotypical. Like sometimes you get these bum dudes like You take, is that your son? You have a grown son right there yelling at you and stuff like that about money. It's like you taking care of him. We're not doing that. We're not doing that no more in 2022. I know it's easier said than done to get rid of that, but other than his body and his presence, what happens to you if you leave him? What happens? What do you lose? What do you stand to lose other than his body and his presence in your household? Because it just seems like, he has reasons and excuses not to help. Some people, they want to retire early. You got a 45-year-old that lay on the couch all day. Like, I don't put my work in. You handle it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Clarity challenge. Actually, yeah, we do have I do have a clarity challenge that's coming up here. It's going to be released probably in this last quarter of the year. I'm hoping November 1st, but it's actually going to be a 45-day clarity challenge that's actually going to walk you through some of the steps out of confusion into clarity, from the crazy making into the clarity of like what's actually happening. This stuff is going to be huge. At the first initial draft, just the course itself, just the challenge is over, just the lessons parts are over 30,000 words. We've got over 110 videos that we have to actually like script out and actually put together. I'm like halfway through scripting them out, and then we got to record all those, get them edited down. There's 50 personalized emails that you're going to get, like going through it. Like there's a ton of stuff that's going into it to try to be able to help people actually have a path to be able to go forward with that healing, growth, and change. We gave a couple people actually on the Narc app the other night, they actually got a sneak peek at some of it, kind of gave them a list of some of the ideas, some of the topics, some of the things that we're going to go through, and some of the stuff that I do on one-on-ones in like an intentional way to help break people out of the trauma bond that's getting put into that, except in more detail, because we have more time to actually step through it on a day-to-day basis versus like cramming everything into like 45 minutes. Instead, you actually get 45 lessons, 45 days of a challenge, and then actually 5 bonus ones too. It's actually a total of 50 coming out. So we're super excited about that. That's coming out here towards the end of this year.
Nice. Oof. You're gonna be some fire with that, y'all. So I think my ex Narc's mom is also a Narc, but the thing is, she always has sided with me and still does. She admits her son has issues and is not a good person, but he refused to seek help even when she would tell him he needed help so many times. So you sure she's the narcissist? No, you sure? Interesting. Unless she sided with you to try to antagonize him, you can get some narcissistic parents to do that right there. But you said ex-narcs, so I mean, if this your ex, then yeah. I mean, I'm just telling y'all, sometimes they're absolutely going to refuse help, y'all. Chris Cassie, they're gonna refuse help, just absolutely. They're like, and I had a woman inbox me the other day. She's like, "What do you do when your husband refuses to go to therapy and say you have to accept him for who he is?" I just feel like you have to accept him for who he is, or you have to, put your running shoes on and dip, because he done told you his plan. Like, he's serious. He ain't gonna, some people don't want to put the effort in. It's tough going to therapy and trying to make positive behavior alteration. It is absolutely tough. It's not an easy task at all. So,
no, that's for sure. Like the therapy part is crazy. Like I had therapy today and like kind of sucked. It was rough. Like I walked away with it with like really like nothing. Like it just reminded me like, hey, you're on a journey. It's not a sprint, because you're not going to get there. Because like today it was just rough. Like the stuff we dived into and the stuff we tried to uncover, it was kind of like, hey, let's uncover this, and it's like wall, and like let's uncover this, and it's like blank canvas, and let's uncover this, and it's like void. It was rough, but it's one day at a time, trying to be like, hey, what's the intention of how I'm going to set about working on growing, healing, and changing no matter what.
Yep.
Why doesn't a narc care if I insult him and degrade him to get him out of my life and tell him to block me, even if it's to protect his mental health from me? Does he feel pathetic holding on? Well, the thing you have to realize just in that statement there is, I don't think he's holding on. I think he's loving it, because what you're doing is you're feeding him. You're feeding him supply. A lot of times people think like, oh, supply is like a good thing. Like, no, like, so supply can look positive or negative. It can be like, I love you or I hate you. That is both can be a supply a lot of times for narcissists. So the fact that you're there insulting him and degrading him, like, he also knows, like, hey, this person, like, I still matter to this person. This person is still thinking about me. You know, this person is still obsessed with me. And I think I have another comment saved and I'll touch on here too, but like, you shouldn't expect them to block you. Like that's a pipe dream of you hoping that someone's going to actually respect you that never has.
Yeah.
Let's see. Woman on TikTok who is diagnosed NPD says that its narc survivors are also abusive towards their narc because it's not their fault they have NPD because it's a disorder caused by childhood trauma. Thoughts?
So there's a couple of women on TikTok who are diagnosed narcissistic people, you know, and
you and I both have a pretty good guess.
Yeah. So do I want to invalidate anybody's experience? No, absolutely not. I don't want to invalidate a narcissistic person who feel like they've actually experienced some type of trauma or abuse or something like that. I typically don't go back. I don't go back and forth with other narcissistic people, y'all. I just feel like if that's how they feel, then if there's most people tell you that mutual abuse doesn't exist. Like one person starts abusing and the other person's reacting to it. Right. You know what I mean? The other person is reacting to the abuse from one person. But a lot of people will tell you that mutual abuse, like both people are abusive. Why did it start being abusive? I feel like most times it's going to be, in reciprocation or reaction to something that somebody else is doing. You know what I mean? Could the empath or the codependent person have started it? Yeah, they could go out here and cheat first and then start down the pathway of the narcissist abusing them. Who knows? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've talked to plenty of people who consider themselves empaths. Like, I'm an empath, but I cheated on my great husband. I'm like, and then it's like now I have a narcissist in my life. It's again, y'all. It's just kind of you get to that point right there, just like mutual abuse. I feel like y'all had to look that up. Like I said, I try not to make disparaging remarks towards like other narcissistic people, y'all, because I respect people who are here and try to speak their truth. So.
I think my thing, like looking at that, is not even talking about the narc survivors, but of the whole, like, it's not their fault. If you play off it's not their fault, then they just become the victims and then all their behavior is excused. Just because someone has had childhood trauma doesn't mean they have to be abusive. It doesn't mean that they are locked into that box of, hey, I had childhood trauma, so now I need to be an asshole to everybody. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yes.
There's people that have had childhood trauma on all spectrums of life that make the choice on a day-to-day basis not to be abusive. So if someone's touting that of like, it's not their fault, we should actually like be nicer to them, like that's where like I get frustrated, because you see right here, and you see there's other self-aware narcissists out there that are making the choice on a day-to-day basis not to be abusive. So at that point, I don't know, that's where I feel like a lot of the argument falls apart.
Yeah. So abuse, like I said, the end of it right there, I would agree with you on that one too, because like your trauma doesn't excuse how you treat people in your adulthood. You know what I mean? A lot of times it ends up getting weaponized against you. Like, hey, I had childhood trauma, so I'm treating you like shit. You know what I mean? And that thing right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you want to grab that one?
My ex will text me every other day about a bill we have or a sign on to pay a bill. Is it him trying to keep me reeled in? Haven't heard from him at all today. How to respond to it? I mean, is it about the bills? Is it? Could it be him trying to reel you back in? Yeah, absolutely. But is it actually about the bills? Because I thought, how many bills do y'all have every single day? Like, goddamn, did y'all get billed out? It's 30 days in a month. You got 15 bills every other day.
Or it might just be like one bill of like constant, like, hey, I need this, or hey, I need this for the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, it's some other questions behind the scenes right there, y'all. In that circumstance, that's how I feel about that, y'all. So I just feel like there's, how many bills are you missing out on in this circumstance right here? Baby steps. Jack the Hill. Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, I'm looking through my stuff right here.
You good? So I'm in a new relationship these past few months. Why does it feel so strange to me now? I don't know what to do with all this peace. Is that normal?
Yeah. You don't know what to do all the peace. When you've been in chaos for so long, peace, it's weird. Peace can be boring. Peace can appear as boring. Nothing like it's kind of boring, but It's peaceful. You got to get used to the peace.
Mhm.
Some people crave that chaos. Some people crave the chaos. I've seen people. I'm not saying you do this, Kristen, but I've seen people in your situation. They get into a good new relationship and go back to the narcissist. Y'all will leave the good relationship, go back to the narcissist, and then blame the narcissist for ruining your new relationship. I'm like,
right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's like a huge part too of like the peace in a new relationship feels different and oftentimes feels boring, right? Like the new person is like, wow, like they don't connect the same, like they don't know me the same. Well, that's because the narcissist didn't either, but they use that to manipulate you.
yes.
And like a lot of times people don't realize that, hey, you just got finished being love bombed. Like you just got finished coming off of a high. So yeah, like other stuff is going to feel weird, is going to feel different because you had adrenaline and anxiety and a whole lot of other things that were kind of thrown in the mix that made it feel like so much different than the relationship you are now. The relationship you're in now, like, is going to feel different. It's going to feel weird because, like, hey, you might actually have found a good person that's actually going to deal with commitment and, not screaming. That's going to deal with like faithfulness versus, lying and cheating. So there's a whole like different dynamic that's going to come. That's okay for it to feel different. It's okay for it to feel weird and awkward because you're having to adjust your norm. You're having to adjust like what you're used to. And if what you're used to is toxicity, everything else is going to feel weird and different, but you have to acknowledge it and be like, hey, that's actually okay to feel. Actually disgusted by him right now for not blocking after the mean rejection. Oh yeah, this is actually going back to the same comment. I didn't realize they were both connected. So yeah, so I mean, honestly, like when I look at it, and with me, probably like with more or less of a filter, would be like, you're disgusted for him not blocking. Like I'm disgusted because you didn't block him, because in reality, you can't expect it. Like it doesn't match up logically for you to expect that person who's a toxic, awful person. You can't expect that person in your life to have the respect to actually block you when they haven't had that respect at all, before. Like it doesn't make sense. If that person has lied, gaslit, cheat, manipulated, yelled, screamed at you, you can't expect them to automatically just turn it off and be like, oh, now I'm going to block you and respect you and keep all your wishes. Like, no, they're not programmed that way. So like you need to actually block them and take the initiative, take the higher road or the bigger person, whatever you want to call it, and be like, no, I'm going to block them because I know they've demonstrated over the period of time that they're not going to be consistent. They're not going to actually, love, care, and respect me. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I need to love, care, and respect me because they're not doing that.
Yep. And also leaving him unblocked just kind of gives off the vibes that you want him to come back. You know what I mean? If you leave the door open, they'll peek back through it. If you're disgusted, if you don't like this stinking ass baby diaper, you throw it out the house. You know what I mean? Like this stinking poop diaper is stinking the whole house up. You don't keep it in the house. You throw it away. Mm-hmm. It's not gonna take itself out. You know what I mean? So no, I blocked. Oh, you blocked him. Okay.
So he's not gonna block you. Like you shouldn't expect that. Yeah.
Block each other. Mutual blocking.
Right. I want us to mutually block each other. Like probably never gonna happen. My ex continues to hoover, then immediately backtracks the next day. This has happened 6 or 7 times in the last few months. Is this just a temperature check?
Interesting. It could be dipping her toes in the water. It could very well be could very well be a temperature check. But I feel like how is she attempting to hoover though? What means is she attempting to hoover? Because I feel like if you leave the door open, they'll come through it. They'll y'all home? Yeah, they'll come through there and peek in the door. Uh-huh. If you don't want her to do that, you have to cut off the access. You know what I mean?
Right. I think my biggest question, if it is a temperature check and that's how you're viewing it, why are you still allowing your temperature to be taken? I mean, at that point, stop being tempted and just be like, hey, like we're gonna cut this off so that you don't actually have that access. Let's see here. What else we got? After we broke up, he said he knew he needed to go to therapy to figure out why he was so messed up. Then a week later, he was already hooking up randomly and trying to latch on to his new supply and saying he didn't know if he should go to therapy anymore.
So now I'm at the point where he's latching on to somebody else. I'm latching off, like blocked. Now, why are you still talking to him now? Like, I don't know if you have kids. I don't know the situation. So now it's just seems like there's a lot of unnecessary communication going on. He's already hooking up with somebody else, and you're still talking to him about it. He's telling you,
knowing about it,
yeah, you're his therapist. If he's venting to you about somebody new, you're his therapist. You know what I mean? Oh, I don't need no help. I just need some new cheeks. That's the mind right there. That's the mindset. I don't really need any help. I just need to clap some new cheeks, and then I'll feel better. Who says?
I don't believe you're a narcissist. There's no such thing as being self-aware.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, brother.
I mean, show me where there's no such thing as being self-aware, because it's not in the DSM-5. I can tell you that, and you know that's what we go off of when we talk about narcissists.
I don't know what to tell y'all.
She also messaged me last week, completely degrading her new supply when I didn't take. Oh yeah, this is going back to that one that we just wrote. When I didn't take the bait, she went right back to him, even after taking our daughter around him. So yeah, I would say like cut off the bait. I mean, there might be circumstances that's going to take a while to kind of position. Okay, yeah, there we go. So can't undo it because I have a daughter, so can't cut off total access. Right. Yeah, but use a third-party app, use a third-party person. There's a lot of people that get like stupid close to it. Look at parallel parenting, look up the BIF method, communicate only through email. I don't know what type of parenting agreement or what addendums you can put on. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into that. But just know that it's not impossible. It's very hard, but it's not impossible.
I'm not responding to nothing that doesn't have our daughter's name in it or something to do with our daughter. Oh, the new supply, he ain't nothing like you, Greg. Man.
Right.
Ignore. You mean?
Yeah. If it's not exactly related in that, then yeah. I left him 2 months ago. He keeps trying even after I blocked him everywhere. When is this going to stop?
I left him 2 months ago. He keeps trying. It might not stop anytime soon. You know? Right. You gotta keep. Some people, like I said, sometimes you have to force them to leave you alone, y'all. Like some people are going to keep pursuing you and pursuing you and pursuing you until you get exhausted and give in, or you call the police and try to get a restraining order. You got to protect yourself at all costs. You know what I mean? You got to protect yourself at all costs, like seriously. But sometimes you have to force them to leave you alone because they're not going to just willingly leave you alone. Sometimes they're just going to do it. Yeah.
I think a big aspect here, I mean, Chris kind of pointed this out. It's not impossible for a narc to be self-aware, just very improbable. I think there's also a decent amount of narcissists out there that are self-aware, but you have to understand self-awareness doesn't equal change. There's a lot of people out there that are aware and they don't care because, I mean, a lot of narcissists don't care, period. But like, they are like, I'm aware. Okay, that's who I am. So deal with it. There's a decent amount of people I think that are more self-aware than what we want to give credit to.
Yeah. I'm aware. My shirt got coming out next week, y'all.
There you go. What is your take on teenage narcissists? So, I mean, according from like diagnosis and stuff, like they can't really be diagnosed until they pass the teenage years. What I find a lot of times is you have well, I would put it this way. Sometimes an awkward question is, what do I do? And my son or my daughter is a narcissist and the other person in the relationship isn't a narcissist. Like they'll be like growing up and be like, hey, what do I do? My kid's a narcissist. Well, if your kid's a narcissist and there's not a direct toxic person in that relationship, then y'all need to get into like family counseling because a lot of it is from the upbringing and like what's actually going on there, whether it's, maybe intentional, whether it's not intentional, there's still something that needs to be dived into to the family system because of what's actually happening in their brain based on what's going on in the family system. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm still okay. Oh yeah, she was answering a question, but I wanted to highlight this. If I'm still treating my body like crap, not sleeping properly, not journaling, not exercising, not going to get past a certain point. Yeah, and it's huge because a lot of times we neglect to talk about sleeping properly, like reducing your anxiety, like having a good solid nervous system, like waking up in the morning, like exercising, going out for walks, like changing your mindset, changing your focus. Because a lot of times we talk about, hey, like narcissists and, breaking the trauma bond, which is huge, but like you also have to have a good foundation on top of that. Like I love this, like if you are treating your body like crap, it's a lot harder to get to a healing state, if you're not mentally and emotionally able to do that because of what you're feeding your body.
Yes. My baby daddy wants to take me out Saturday. What do you think? Well, Brittany, you're not gonna listen to me anyway. Do you, girl? Do you?
I like highlighted that one just for you.
Yeah, that's just that y'all just toxic, Brittany. That's just like y'all see, Brittany. Some people like the toxicity, y'all. some people crave it. Round 3, fight. You sound like y'all playing Mortal Kombat. Yeah. What is it? He was begging me to drive to him. He usually comes to me. I relented. Mid-drive, he canceled because he didn't want to upset me. Later, he texts, "Guess I'm done for. I'm sorry, by the way. Reverse discard attempt. Confused." I just feel like, as soon as you said I relented, I be y'all. I'm not being rude. I be logging out sometimes, like mentally. I'm just like, y'all gotta stop giving in and just letting your boundaries now. He was begging me to drive to him. He usually comes to me begging. Then okay, I'll come. You didn't really want to come, so mid-drive, he's like, "Oh, she really don't want to come here. Bye." Because you were upset. You really didn't want to come because he had to beg you. So it's already uneven right there. You mean later he texts, "Guess we done. Guess you're gonna break up with me." But sorry, by the way, like just this weirdo shit. Like honestly, like if you want to keep doing this singing dance, just keep dancing. You mean keep singing and keep dancing. I just like that type of stuff right there is super toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky.
I have a therapist, shrink, Ben, group friends. It's hard to keep all the advice straight. I feel overwhelmed. Yeah.
Fire Ben. Simple,
Right?
quick, straight to the point.
There you go. Easy fix. There you go. Oh gosh, Linda, that's a lot going on there. Serving papers, and we're still in the same house. He's a covert.
Oh.
Please be safe and please be careful.
Yeah, please be careful. Because you're like, I don't put anything past anyone. Honestly, you just never know what people are doing. Their back is against the wall, and their world might be imploding. Especially if he's not prepared for you to leave. Like, you gonna leave me? He just blacks out. Sees red. That's what people say. They see red.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want him to see red in front of you. You know what I mean? Maybe cancel it. Can you? Are they gonna serve him while are y'all at the dinner table? Somebody, is this like Pineapple Express when they're just like, are you Mr. Linda Sharp? Yes, you've been served. And he just opens up the divorce paper at the table. Like, I just feel like, what's the best way for you to do it as safely as possible? Because I don't know, you know him better than we do, but I still don't put anything past anyone.
Right.
Like, people are dangerous. I'm just telling you.
I would say, like, if you've already seen like dangerous activities in the relationship, that should already be like a red flag. So as far as like if you cancel it or not, like I'm not saying that at all. But like what I am saying is, like, when it happens or when it does transition, like make sure that you're safe about that. Whether that's you're living someplace else for a week, whether you're going to visit friends, like something needs to happen to try to have like a buffer a lot of times. But it all depends. Oh, you'll be out of the house. Okay. Then yeah. No, I wouldn't say cancel at all. I think that's smart as far as like you being safe, like making sure that you're out of the house. That is very smart of you. I think that's very wise.
Okay. Be careful.
Wait, she just said she's canceling. I'm confused.
Are you not in the same house, or he moved? I thought you said you was in the same house.
Yeah, she said in the same house, but then said I'll be out of the house. And then she's asked if canceling. I was like, if you're out of the house, then I would say like go for it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing we were trying to say is like make sure that you're safe in doing it. We are in it. I think so. You'll be out. I'm confused now.
Okay, Linda, honey. Just are y'all? Just be careful. If y'all are living in the same household and he's gonna be served while you are there, and then he comes into this. I just feel like that's dangerous. I just feel like it makes for an awkward bedtime story. You know what I mean? Pillow talk is not gonna be very pillowy. I just feel like just whatever just be safe. Honestly.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Megan said I make a lot of movie references. I worked at Blockbuster for like 5 years. Those
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can give a quick shout out really quick to the Narc app. If you guys haven't had a chance to be able to see it, give you like 2 quick ideas here. So if you haven't seen the new symbol with like the N, then you need to update it because that's new as of the other day. Basically, if you go to narcapp.com, you'll see some of this of talking through of what's actually in the app of different stuff that we've been working on, different stuff that's come out. So new course that came out just recently from Lisa. We've got Boundaries by Bree. She came up with a course, different places where you can actually, have questions and answers that actually happen live every single week. Rewiring, the whole like set you free course to try and an exercise that's actually embedded in that helps you actually reduce the triggers that are coming into your life on a day-to-day basis. A lot of people that use that is super helpful. Dating after abuse, like whole bunch of different stuff that's like tied in here that you'd love to be able to interact and be able to help you out with, along the way. So there's a giant stuff that's actually happening there. You can actually go to narcapp.com. I'll throw like the link in real quick here so you can actually see about it. But yeah, there's a lot of people in there as far as like helping to have community is huge. Community that you can interact with. There's a lot of people actually in the chat that are even on the Narc app that they've developed friendships, connections, people that they're going to be, meeting up with or like having lunch or breakfast together before like a workshop, before like meeting great, because like they're able to establish, hey, I'm not alone. There's other people out there that are dealing with the same shit that I've had to deal with, and you're able to connect and help people moving forward.
Community. It's always about the community, y'all. Just join the community on the Narc app. It just, I have it. I have it on both my phones. So download the Narc app.
Spot the difference between a real, genuine interest of a healthy individual and love bombing of a narcissist in the get to know you phase.
How to spot the difference between real, genuine interest of a healthy individual. So I feel like take time. I just feel like that takes time right there. So on average, from what I've read, it takes on average 90 days to get to know someone. 90 days. That's what I've read. 90 days for 3 months. Anything within that 3-month window that you feel like it's uncomfortably fast, like I love you 1 month in, could it be real love? Possibly. Don't say it back. If they say I love you quickly, don't say it back. I'm not there yet. Watch their reaction. If they get mad, if they get mad and pouty because you're not in love with them yet, that's a red flag. You know what I mean? You don't love me yet? You don't love me? What I need to do to get you to love me? Y'all be seeing that type of shit. Y'all still be staying again, y'all. Don't ignore the red flags. If it feels red flaggy, it's probably red flaggy. I promise you. Just slow down. Set a boundary. Find a way to say no. Just find a way to say no. I just feel like that helps you out. That kind of drags them out right there. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's big. Agreed is toxic. In therapy and working on it, haven't responded. I wasn't upset. That was an excuse he used. I was just curious if he was trying to get me to discard him, asking you so I don't. I think this is one you answered earlier. I'm not sure.
Oh, about the driving halfway there?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, could he be trying to get you to discard him? I just feel like the last statement he made was, I guess we're broken up, right? Sorry about that. I don't feel like that's a discard statement right there. I just feel like that's a guilt trip statement to make you feel bad and reach out to him. You know what I mean? I don't feel like that's the end of the story argument right there. Yeah. Edward Morgan, what's going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you go on to the website, it'll give you all the details there, but it's $20 a month for the Narc app. What that includes is not just all the courses and the stuff in the community, but it also includes like the weekly lives that it's like this in one sense, except you can actually come on screen. A lot of times towards like the second half of it, we'll go over questions that you've submitted throughout the week. But then we'll also bring people live and interact and do like sometimes mini like coaching sessions like right then and there. The other thing is it also gets you access to the coaching program that we have that happens every single month. And that's a group coaching call that a lot of times we'll bring in, whether it's myself or other coaches from across the country to be able to help you heal, grow, and change. So it's almost like the monthly like group coaching that you see like other people have, except you get that plus a ton more stuff with it as well. So yeah, check it out. Husband of 36 years dropped a bomb on me in early July about his new girlfriend's supply. Devastating. I'm now seeking trauma therapy.
So
Totally agree with that. I actually I had someone today who came on one of my lives earlier that I'd worked with personally for a couple months, and she was 35 years in. 35 years with a covert narcissist, and the crazy, amazing, awesome thing is like she's kicking that trauma bond like in the butt. Like she's getting free, she's establishing new relationships with her kids that like have been estranged for a while, that like she was like pitted against, all that kind of stuff. Like I would just want to say, like, hey, like your story sounds like awful as far as like how long you've been. I totally get that. And there's a lot of like, wait a second, like what's actually happened all these past years. There's other people that are, I just want to let you know you're not alone. There's other people that are dealing with that at the same exact time. And there's hope at the end of the tunnel. And, definitely like seek out therapy, talk to whoever you need to, like therapists, coaches, anybody like that, to try to be able to help you grow, heal, and change, because it's essential to be able to have that support.
Yep.
There you go.
So my narcissist best friend, who was a guy, discarded me like I'm nobody. 9 years in, all of a sudden he just stopped talking to me when he got a new girlfriend. It's like he looked at us as in a intimate relationship. He actually ghosted me for no reason. I'm no threat to his relationship. I'm confused. You're confused? I'm confused. Yeah, that's a sign on TikTok, y'all. But in this situation right here, so the best friend. So did he want to date you? You mean, was he in the friend zone? Did he have some type of feelings for you right there? I just feel like this is a deeper question right there. Did y'all have something before this friendship? Like what was going on before the actual friendship? Did he see y'all? Because you said right here at the end, you said it's like he looked at us as in an intimate relationship. So I feel like he thought y'all were dating sometimes. Like he felt like y'all were together, and you didn't feel the same way. You didn't reciprocate his feelings. So when he finally found somebody to reciprocate his feelings, he felt like he didn't need you anymore. Just reading that statement right. That would be my perspective on that right there. He wanted more than what you wanted.
Right.
When you didn't give it to him, he dipped. Threat this relationship. I feel like he might think you are, or his girl might think you are. Sometimes women think you, women or the other person might think you're a threat. I need you to cut off your female best friend. I don't trust y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't trust you. I don't trust her. Yeah. Right. Jenny B22, she said, I didn't know what narcissism was till I started watching your videos. I thank God that I understand better. Still incredibly awful. Yeah, understanding is, that's part of the journey right there. How do you get over the ruminate? I think don't you have a course on that right there? Well, is that part of your is that in here?
Not necessarily like that specifically. It does help with that for sure, because it has like over 100 questions actually going into that journal of trying to think back on it and actually bring clarity to the confusion, like clarity to the reality of what's going on. Ruminating is also going to be discussed in the clarity challenge that we're working on. And that's something that I talk on too when I work with people on one-on-one. So give you like a quick rundown is like a big aspect of the ruminating is you're latching on to a story that you believe about that person or about the situation, whether that's looking back on the past and looking at the tiny good moments and being like, wow, like this person actually is, the person that I didn't think that they were, they're actually like a good person, like different things like that. You'll latch onto those good moments because it's easier to do that than it is to deal with the truth of trauma. So when you get to the idea of like, how do I get over the ruminating? A giant part is journaling and is truth. Is making sure you actually know the truth of the situation, because when you see them in the light of who they actually are and what they've actually done to you, that starts to separate that idea of like, well, maybe I'm still thinking about them, maybe they're still changing. Like then you're like, wait a second, like I don't care, like they treated me like shit, like why do I actually want that? You start to separate that a little bit, but it has to do with truth, and it has to do with actually like the story that you believe. Because what'll happen is, I'll tell you real quick, what'll happen is you'll hear something, see something, someone will say a phrase, you'll pass a restaurant you used to go to, you'll smell a cologne that you used to, like anything, like stuff like that'll happen. It'll trigger you. As soon as it triggers you, you have an instant, you're going to have an emotion. You're going to have an emotion that's going to lead to a feeling that you're ascribing to that emotion in that situation. That'll lead you down the path of actually being a story that you're telling yourself. The problem is a lot of times those stories are based in fiction and they're based in fantasy, not in reality. And like my job when I work with people is try to help walk them through that process so they live in the reality and the truth of the situation. And the truth, when they're able to rewire their story, that's what sets you free from that.
There you go.
Oh, sweet. Like I said, she got her fantasy to reality journal today. Awesome.
Oh, there you go. Powerful. It's already in the works and whatnot.
That journal, there are questions in there that have multiple parts to them. A few of them so far I have to come back to so I can finish. I got to think about it. Not a fan of thinking about things. Yeah, I mean it definitely makes you think. Oh, here we go. I was wondering if anybody's gonna say anything. Nice American Eagle shirt. Yep, still gaslighting you with my shirt. People are hilarious. There you go. What is one of the first signs of first self-awareness and into recovery, as you mentioned in the example, progressive change consistently?
So I preach consistent change behavior. So I don't think there's a moment of self-awareness. I think it's a gradual build up to, like, it's kind of like I would say, like the Big Bang theory. You know what I mean? How the Earth was whatever was created with the one Big Bang. It didn't just blow up. There were a lot of moving pieces that came into this circle that made the Big Bang happen. So I just feel like, if I had a narcissistic awakening, if my self-awareness was the Big Bang, is rock bottom financially, rock bottom emotionally, rock bottom mentally, rock bottom physically. I was gaining weight. I wasn't where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? I wasn't, life wasn't where it was supposed to be. I was 29 years old, desolate. Well, no, I was 32 years old. 31. It's been years, y'all. I forget. By 31 years old, I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. So all this stuff had to happen at the same exact time. And then boom, Big Bang, self-awareness. It's kind of like I woke. It's kind of like I was awakened again. Yeah, it wasn't just one moment of like, I'm a self-aware narcissist. It wasn't like that. It's like an accumulation of stuff for me.
Yeah, I mean, same for me too. Like I always say I didn't have a light bulb moment. I just had a dimmer switch. Like it like slowly turned on over a period of time.
Yeah.
All right, let me see.
Britt, are you in the comments talking shit?
Yeah, she is. I'm ignoring her comments. Some of them I don't want to post on screen.
Britt,
What causes them to have self-sabotaging moments, hiding their own stuff, pretending to find it, and other bizarre behaviors? So, like, I mean, how you just describe it, that's not self-sabotaging. A lot of times, like, it'd be like, I hide my own stuff so I can blame you for it, and then, oh, I found it.
Yeah. Self-sabotage would be breaking the shit. You know what I mean? Breaking something that I needed. You know what I mean? Just for the hell of it, just to stop myself. Sometimes self-sabotage comes from a place of, typically, I would say self-sabotage for myself comes from a place of fear. Fear of progress, fear of leaving people behind, fear of loss, fear of abandonment. So I like, if I take this next step, I'm opening myself up to a lot of possibilities of hurt and pain and shame. So let me go ahead and self-implode. Let me drop out of school. Let me quit this job. Let me cheat on this person. It's just stuff like that that just draws you. Something else is, I know y'all gonna say, like, Lee, that's the spirit, that's a Jezebel spirit. Something it feels like something else takes over y'all, honestly. It's me, but it's also not me simultaneously. I know it sounds crazy to y'all, but that's how
I'm just gonna leave that up here for a second.
Any advice getting me is coming. If y'all want to go back, if you want to go back to your toxic, unhealed ex, listen to Brittany. She's in the comments spitting that knowledge to you.
Oh my gosh! All right, so we're gonna be wrapping up here. Here's another question we got. Good strong question to kind of wrap it up. Did you think that naive or weak people deserve to be taken advantage of if they didn't have boundaries?
So me first, I pity naive, weak people, honestly. Naive people, I just feel like a lot of times narcissistic people get to the point where they pity you too, and they just discard you. Like they're done with you. They pity you. You're weak to them. You're useless. They can't get anything else from you, so they get rid of you. You know what I mean? So in my own personal perspective, I pity weak, naive people. I don't try to take it. That doesn't give me any kind of strength. It's just like me. This is like somebody being 6'5", 350 pounds, beating up a 4'11", 85 pounds person. There's no, like, you are supposed to do that. You know what I mean? I just feel like there's no supply in taking advantage of naive, weak people. Weak, quote unquote, weak people. not unstrong people, whatever you want to call it. You know, that's how my mind works. Yeah.
I think a part two is like kind of piggybacking on that is a lot of times naive or weak or there's no challenge.
Yeah.
There's no like oh yeah, there we go. Chris for the win.
Yeah.
She's dropping in the comments too. That's not a challenge. Yeah. I mean, there's a huge aspect of that.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett, thanks so much.
Lee just calls me out. So see, it's the opposite. It's typically the opposite out here.
Yeah, it typically is. Like typically someone's like, what should I do? And you're like, what do you think you should do? You know? So it's normally opposite. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but I've been messing like literally since 2020. I've been hooked with fucking Britt. So it's been a long time. So
that's hilarious. I love that you guys are able to support each other. I've often wondered that as narcissists, if you ever feel like you're in competition with each other.
No. So the way my mind works, I just feel like there's enough for everybody to eat, y'all. There's competing means like, I don't know. It's just I feel like I have to work hard to compete with somebody like that. They're doing very, very similar things. Because I feel like it would be inauthentic for my platform for me to compete with somebody else that's trying to raise awareness from their own perspective. It would literally be inauthentic. It's just like, hey, the self-aware narcissist is trying to help people, but he's stopping Ben from helping people. So this defeats the purpose. And he probably could use it against me. Like, I thought he was supposed to help people. You know what I mean?
I mean, it might feel a little bit different if I had 1.5 million too. Just saying if we're up there. But I think we also like know each other well enough that it would be a healthy competition. It'd be like iron sharpens iron. It would be like, I'm gonna report his video or something like that.
Like who the hell keeps reporting my videos? It's like Ben, let me see your TikTok, your notifications from TikTok.
Right. No, but it's awesome. I mean, I think it's really cool because granted, like a lot of times you guys see us like up here, you don't really see us like behind the scenes. I think it's really cool because we've had a lot of moments where we've shared professional and stuff that like helps us grow, heal, and change in like the professional realm and like the business realm of like learning from each other and stuff like that. But there's also like moments that we've shared that are like vulnerable.
Yeah.
Hey, like I identify with this pile of shit, and you're like, oh, I do too. And it's hard, but I mean, I think I was actually talking to my therapist, a while back of like why a lot of times, in my mind, I was like, why a lot of times is it easier to a lot of times talk to women than it is men? And she was like, well, a lot of times you have women that are more in tune with their emotions and feelings. And I was like, that makes sense because like a lot of times like you talk to like a guy and it only goes so far and you're just kind of like, okay, conversation is kind of dead. I think that there's a difference, with talking with Lee and with the communication that we have because there's a bigger depth to how we communicate. And there's a bigger depth of like, we're bringing stuff to the table that, at times, there's been times we both have communicated stuff to each other that, feels very raw and feels very like, vulnerable of like, hey, this is awkward for me to share, but I'm sharing it because we've started that kind of back and forth of like trust and with each other,
Yeah. So I would agree a lot with that, especially with the whole, men being less emotional connected or whatever. That's how my mind was working when I chose my therapist. I just feel like women were more in tune with their emotions. So I'm like, maybe I'll talk to a woman and she can help me more. And did that work out for me? Absolutely, yeah. Because my therapist is just, she just own it. My therapist talk shit, y'all. She do. I'll be in there again Friday, getting chick talk to me. And then Saturday, we'll be in VA Beach. Megan, you get to check it out. So yeah, we'll be in VA Beach bringing the heat.
Yep. Yeah, we're super excited about it. So if you guys haven't had a chance to be able to check it out, feel free to be able to check it out. We've got Saturday coming up. It's probably kind of too late as far as like if you're having to adjust plans or stuff. We got Saturday coming up that we're super excited to actually work through with you a 4-hour event to be able to help you heal, grow, and change. And like Lee says, it's gonna be fire, y'all. Like it's gonna be fire. Like there's a lot of stuff that we're gonna be coming out. So bring your fan because it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be fire. So we're super excited about that. But then we also have coming up October 15th. Don't forget to be able to check out at narcavengers.com /Texas. That's where we're gonna be, Austin, Texas. Super excited about that. Honestly, the meet and greet part is gonna be filled up probably I think within the next like 3 weeks. So like if you want to talk to one of us in particular, or if you want to get like the backstage pass to be able to hear what other people are saying between like all 10 of us that are going to be there, sign up. There's a couple different options there that you can sign up. And we'd be super excited to be able to see you and to interact with you and to introduce you to other survivors as you help build community there as well.
Perfect. So yeah, October 15th we'll be in Austin, Texas, y'all. It's gonna be fire. I'm telling you, it's just it's get it while it's fresh. I'm telling you, it's just only gonna get the snowball is rolling downhill and just picking up steam right now, y'all. It's the snowball effect. So Virginia Beach, maybe I can get in there. Yeah, Virginia Beach is coming up Saturday, 4-hour workshop.
Yeah,
this will be a nice.
I just dropped it in the comments. It's up a little bit, but I just dropped it in person, so check that out too.
Yeah. So we get it in, y'all. So thank y'all for tuning in tonight. I seriously appreciate y'all tuning in, y'all. We're probably be going live a little bit more on TikTok here in the next few days as well. So if y'all on TikTok or Instagram, follow us over there. We're gonna be teaming up with some of the other Narc Avengers on those platforms, going live, and just y'all can come meet them and see who will be there in Austin, who'll be there in Toronto, wherever we go next, y'all. Francis, be safe. Take care of yourself, girl.
Absolutely. Y'all have a blessed night. Thanks so much for being here. We'll see you around.
All right.